Hey guys, how are you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to get into just pulling the carb off of this little saw. It's a Poulan Woodshark model number 1800. These saws were made for a long time under a lot of different model numbers. There's various displacement sizes in it. Pretty common little saw. This one would be probably one of the later models of it though, I would imagine. The first thing we're going to do is get this top cover off of it. This one's actually slotted where you could use a flat head or a Phillips head, just whichever you prefer to use. Get this off and out of the way, and then the carb should be pretty easily accessible. Been a little bit since I fooled with one, but well, this one has flat head screws. I've started taking them off without hitting record. Sorry about that, but this is your choke. You want to kind of remember where it's at as to where your top cover was at, the position on it. That's kind of what works it. Got a little arm that sticks down there and just kind of grabs that choke right there and swings it back and forth. Pretty dang simple design, really. That carb's definitely been off of there before. The gasket's not even stuck to the base. Fuel line actually feels decent. Usually those are hard as a rock and rotten. I was able to kind of get this one to run. These are a reed valve saw. Maybe I can tilt it up and get a look at the reed in there. Yeah, you should be able to see it shining there. It's just a single pedal reed. Opens and shuts as the piston moves up and down to allow fuel to come into the crankcase. Alrighty guys, someone has definitely been into this. The screws on it, I could probably about screw them out with my finger. When we say just get them snug, we do mean a little tighter than that. I'd be surprised if maybe it ain't had a kit, but in most cases somebody will pull these down, clean it, and think that they're going to be good to go. 9 times out of 10 those diaphragms are just shot. Sometimes you can get them to run enough. This one you could choke it and it would kind of try to run. Alright. That diaphragm doesn't feel horrible, but we have a new kit here to go in this, so new kit we're going to go with. The diaphragm actually pretty bad, guys. And I'll probably sit and scrape all this gasket off of this thing off camera, of course, just to save for video time. Just kind of just showing you what's going on. Somebody might have one of these things laying around. I'll try to get it busted off, back running again. And here's probably why it wasn't wanting to run. That diaphragm there is just stiff as a board. Although that one honestly probably would have ran. I would say honestly the metering diaphragm, or maybe the screen in this may be stopped up. It doesn't look horrible. I've seen a lot worse. But I'm going to get this gasket scraped off that. We're going to pull the high and low jet out of it. And I'm going to throw it into ultrasonic cleaner for a few minutes. And bring you guys back. We'll go back together. So I did pull the needle valve and metering lever only because someone had already been messing with it and it kind of bent all out of whack. Kit has a new one though, so I'm going to go ahead and put that in. There's probably no showing that, but I'll show it to you once it's back in, kind of explain how it goes together. What that looks like back together. You have a little spring under the tip of your metering lever, which on this carb is about even with the inside of the metering bowl, we'll call it, or metering chamber. Then your needle valve will hook in the end. You got your little pin goes through. I do recommend using some clean grease or Vaseline or something to hold that little spring in to keep it from flying across the shop, because they do want to spring around everywhere. Then you put your screw back in to hold it all down. Might take you a couple tries, but really not that bad to do. Okay guys, so gasket first, then diaphragm, then your cover, and your 4 screws. We want them a little tighter than they were when we took it apart. I actually have another one of these saws. It's a 2000, I think. That is like in pristine condition. Simple Man had gave us. I had it out running it and then it just quit, so I'm assuming the same deal, diaphragms and the carb went, but we're gonna get that one out and put a kit in it as well and get it going, because I want to modify that one. Okay guys, gasket goes first, then the diaphragm. And if you get your mouth held right, boy, I'm shaky. You should be able to get that back on. It's got 2 little dowels. And this particular kit had like 2 or 3 different diaphragms for that particular carburetor. Just had to match them up and figure out which ones we needed. But that one should be ready to put back on the saw and see if it'll bust off and run. Alright. See if we can get these snug back down. I think I'm going to try to snip just a little bit off of the end of that fuel line. It's kind of frayed on the end. And I swear I remember that choke laying about right there. We'll be sure to get that right. Kind of has a bushing that kind of tightens down around it, if it makes sense. She definitely ain't winning any races, and you could probably see the chips coming off of that locust. Chain's good. I've done a quick hand file on it. In some softwood, that thing would pull some big chips, but these have a 6-pin sprocket that probably turning, what, 10 grand at the highest maybe, so it ain't gonna win no races, guys, but seems to pack a really strong punch for a little bitty saw. Probably ain't 25, 30 cc's, but there you go, guys. Another one brought back, ready to go do a little bit of work. Nice, lightweight, powerful little saw. It's a classic to boot. So, y'all have a good one.